Hey guys, it's Miss Roberts, and I'm going to be reading our reading story for this week called Deep in the Ocean, and this is for the week of May 18th through the 21st. And as you can see, here is your cover page for Deep in the Ocean. We have some special words to know: marine, oceanographers, species, submersible, tag, and water pressure. We have a table of contents. So now obviously my mind's going to start thinking about genre when I see table of contents. And this lets me know that this book is going to be nonfiction. So I'm going to be learning hopefully some new information in this book. And remember, it's important when we're reading nonfiction to make sure that we read the captions, the headings, everything on the page is important in nonfiction. The small, deep ocean sea pig roams the ocean floor, often in herds, eating tiny sea animals and microbes that live in the mud. Deep underwater. Imagine a trip to the deepest part of the ocean. What would you expect to see? Would it be dark or light? Would it be warm or cold? Would you find strange new animals and plants? Sunlight warms the surface or shallow parts of the ocean. Plants and animals that need sunlight and warm water live there. Deep in the ocean, other animals live in water that is cold and dark. The warm, shallow waters of tide pools are home to species of starfish, anemones, mussels, and tiny crabs. Ocean zones: sunlight zone, twilight zone, deep ocean. 200 meters or 656 feet are where starfish, dolphin, and tiger sharks may live. In the twilight zone, it is between 200 meters to 1,000 meters. That's 656 feet to 3,281 feet. An elephant seal and sperm whale may live there. And in the deep ocean, it's 1,000 meters to 4,000 meters deep, and that is between 3,281 feet all the way to 13,124 feet. And there we may find a gulper eel, a viper fish, or a deep sea skate. Diving deep in the ocean. The deep ocean is freezing cold. The water, the weight, or water pressure of very deep water can harm you. Sport divers wear air tanks for safety. Deep divers wear a special diving suit. Scientists ride in a small submarine called a submersible. And if you look at the chart there, you can see all the way from 0 feet down to 21,000 feet. And you can see the different places that divers can go, from a swimmer to a sport diver, a diving suit, and a submersible craft. Oceanographers. Scientists who study the ocean are called oceanographers. They often live for months on a ship. Some study what a sea animal eats and where it lives. Using satellites for tracking. Satellites can help to track sea animals' travels. Scientists tag some animals. A satellite can track the signal from the tag. The signal shows where the animal goes. Counting the sea animals. What animals live in the ocean? Where do they live? How many are there? Oceanographers studied and counted animals for 10 years to find out. The surprising report is called the Census of Marine Life. Lionfish or turkey fish swim among coral sea fans off the Solomon Islands. Their long feathery spines can sting any predator that comes too close. Native to the South Pacific, lionfish were first spotted in United States waters in 2000. The leafy sea dragon blends in with the plants of its surroundings. Its eyes move independently of each other so it can look in two directions at once. The male sea dragon carries the eggs for the female and gives birth. The census of marine life. The first surprise was where things lived. Everywhere. Marine species lived in the hottest and coldest places. Some species lived in deep places without light or oxygen. Over 2 kilometers deep in the ocean, giant tube worms live in the hot water that bubbles up from a lava pillar, living in hot and cold water. The very cold, deep ocean zone has hot volcanoes in it. The water temperature at a volcano can be 400 degrees Celsius or 752 degrees Fahrenheit. Some species of shrimp, crabs, worms, and bacteria live in this very hot water. Huge groups of Arctic sea life were also found living in freezing water. Some species of squid, cod, and jellyfish live under solid ice that is 700 meters or 2,296 feet thick. The Antarctic icefish has no red blood cells. Its thinner blood contains a type of antifreeze that allows it to survive in the frigid waters beneath ice that would freeze the blood of most fish. The big-eyed Atlantic gonet squid lives in the cold, deep waters of the northern Atlantic Ocean. The flapjack octopus is sometimes called Dumbo for its resemblance to the elephant cartoon character. The flapjack has webbing between its tentacles. What did we learn? The marine census counted over 230,000 species. Over 6,000 new species had never been seen before. Some creatures were see-through. Some had warning lights that turned on and off. Others had long feelers instead of eyes. What else lives in the deep ocean? Scientists keep finding new species and new facts. They think that only 1/4 of all marine life has been counted, so there are many more surprises to come. And then you see the glossary, you see the definitions for marine, of or relating to the sea. Oceanographers, scientists who study the ocean and everything in it. Species, groups of living things that are physically similar and can reproduce. Submersible, a small vessel that can operate underwater, especially at deep levels. Tag, to put a label on an object to tell something about the object, such as who owns it or where it belongs. Water pressure, the force that water puts on an object. All right, so after I've read the story now, guys, I am going to pull up a document here, and we're going to look at question number 1. And the question says, what do you think scientists have yet to learn about all the different animals in the ocean? And I want to remind you guys that when you are answering your questions, please make sure you write them in your very best handwriting on a clean piece of paper or on a piece of notebook paper. And if you remember, we talked about TTQA, where you turn the question around to start your answer. That way you are always writing in a complete sentence instead of just starting your sentence with because. So another thing I need to remember also is to look back in the passage for my answer or my text evidence. So when it asks, why do you think scientists have yet to learn about all the different animals in the ocean? Well, if I go back to the book and I scroll back to the first few pages, it gave me some important information here. For example, on this page, it started talking about near the end about how deep in the ocean other animals live in water that is cold and dark. And if I use my text feature over here of this chart, I can clearly see how deep the ocean truly is. And if I look on the next page, page 7, it tells me right here also that the deep ocean is freezing cold. The weight or water pressure of very deep water can harm you. So that lets me know that it is really only safe for divers to go down so far, but they have to be very careful. So I may want to say something like, I think scientists have yet to learn about all the different animals in the ocean because it is not safe for them to go down as deep as the ocean goes. Or another thing that I just remembered, near the end of the book, it talked about how they had done a census, which is where they were trying to count or find or name all of the animals in the ocean. And it tells me here on What Did We Learn? The marine census counted over 230,000 species. Over 6,000 new species had never been seen before. Some creatures were see-through, some had warning lights that turned on and off, others had long feelers instead of eyes. So I would imagine it may have also been difficult for them to actually see and find all the creatures. So I think scientists have yet to learn about all the different animals in the ocean because it is not safe for them to go down as deep as the ocean goes, or they may not have been able to observe, or I could say find, all of the animals in the ocean yet. Now that's just my answer. You are welcome to say it however you wish. Go ahead and try your best to answer maybe 2 to 4 of the questions for Monday and Tuesday. And then when we Zoom on Tuesday, we will discuss these and share our answers. And then on Thursday, when we Zoom again, we will discuss the answers for Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks, guys.